Yes, hello. In this video, I'm going to show you the various settings.json files in the VS Code editor. And why is it important? Because as programmers and coders, we interact with VS Code almost daily, unless you do not use the VS Code. So let's get started. First of all, to quickly access the settings.jsons, we need to go to the command palette. To access the command palette, to press F1, the function key F1, or if not, the combination of Fn and F1. And as you can now see, we have got the command palette. Also, if you are in Windows environment, to access the command palette, you press Ctrl, Shift, and P. While if you are in MacBook, you can also access it using Command, Shift, P, and you get the command palette. The command palette basically shows all the available commands in the VS Code. So we are going to search settings here. Settings, and we're going to look the one which has got JSON in it. So far we see these two, the open user settings and the default settings. So let's interact with the default settings first. This is the default settings.json file. As you can see, it's a very long file. Currently we can't edit as it is in read only editor mode. And for this default settings.json, you cannot do anything with it. It comes pre-installed with your VS Code when you download it. And if you want to make any modifications inside here, you are not going to interact with this file. You are going to interact with the user. Let's go to the Command Shift P, the command palette, and let's search for settings. Let's open the user settings JSON file. Now this is the user settings JSON file. It has a specific path, and this file is there, the settings.json. And whatever you are going to write here will override the default settings. And for example, you may add the feature which maybe you want to do, and they normally takes in key value pairs like JSON. And even if you don't have anything in this, let's say remove this. If you have nothing in your user, there is no problem, because the default one which will be applied. Let's return this because I need these settings in my system. Yeah, lastly which I want to show you is the workspace. Now if I go to the Command Shift palette and I search settings, I cannot see it unless I open a folder. So let's open a folder or a file. Just take any two, for example. Now we have opened a project called the DSL code. Now if we go to the command palette, Command Shift P, and search for settings, you can see there's this additional, the workspace settings.json. If you click this, notice here on the left side, there is an additional file which is being created, a folder.vs code, and a file inside there, the settings.json. Now this, whatever you're going to write here will override both the default settings, which you are not supposed to alter, and the user settings, the one which you are going to spend most of the time to affect your entire VS Code environment. But the limitation of this one will only affect for the DSL code, whatever configuration you are going to write here, whether you want to change the font, whether you want to change anything, it will only affect to this DSL code project. So the workspace is the same as like a folder settings.json. You can also delete this, there is no problem. You can also create it manually in any project which you are by just creating a folder. Let's create a folder with VS Code. VS Code. Let's move it to the parent so that it becomes the children of our main project. And we create a files settings with an s at the end .json. And now here you write your stuff. Whatever you're going to write here is going to override both the user and both the default. So thank you. I believe up to this point you have learned how to interact with the various settings.json files in the VS Code which is our daily to use as programmers and coders. Yeah, thank you very much.